Good afternoon and welcome. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Damian Jackson and I'm the 49th Polemarch of the illustrious Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi Fraternity Incorporated. And we are here today to celebrate our exemplary achievers. Now, everyone in our chapter has high achievement, and our motto is achievement in every field of human endeavor. But what we're celebrating today are 4 men in our chapter who just kind of eked out and gave that extra fine new pie in this last year. So we want you to know that we're around. We've been around for 100 years. We are celebrating our centennial this year, and hopefully, God willing, and as they say, the creek don't rise, we'll be around for another 100 years. We want you to sit back, relax, enjoy the speeches, and understand the purpose of this event. It is to celebrate 4 exemplary men who really eked out that extra bit for this chapter and for me. I just want to say thank you, not only to the chapter, but to these 4 men, because in this position, you need people who are going to support you, who are going to challenge you, and who are going to make you look at different perspectives. You want people who share your vision, even when it might not be that clear. And these 4 men have served in their capacities and helped me to get to where we are. So again, thank you, and please enjoy our program.
Thank you for joining us today as we pause and recognize some high achievers in the Philadelphia Alumni chapter. I am James Andrews, the 37th Polemarch of the Philadelphia Alumni chapter, and today my task is a very easy one. I'm here to introduce one of the recipients of the 2022 Philadelphia Alumni Achievement Award recipients. Our first recipient is a graduate from 1976 from Cheyney University. Everyone knows the oldest HBCU in the nation, Cheyney University of Pennsylvania. Jeffrey, I met 50 years ago, 50 years plus, has been a high achiever from being an initiate of this great fraternity all the way up to the present time. Even though he's been in the organization for over 50 years, he still takes time from his busy schedule to chair a number of our fundraising events. And as history will document, each time it has been very successful. Brother Jeffrey Montague was president of Banquet for over 10 years. During those 10 years, the organization achieved many great things. We have given out multiple scholarships, both for tuition and for books for students in the Philadelphia area. During his career, he worked for Temple University, where he was dean of the School of Tourism, where many students still recognize and applaud him for what he has done for them. Ladies and gentlemen, let's congratulate Brother Jeffrey W. Montague.
I'd like to first thank Brother James Andrews for a tremendous introduction, and to be a person that has received the Achievement Award, from what I understand is the highest award in the chapter, Philadelphia Alumni. I'm overwhelmed and humble. I'd like to say that as a humbled servant of Kappa and the Polemarch of Philly Alumni, so a few years ago, I received the Joseph Greer Award for Spirit, and I do have a spirit, a strong spirit. The Achievement Award was a huge surprise to me, and I'm humbled to receive such. Ironically, my brother, Walter Montague, received this award in 2006. So therefore, greatness runs in the family, I believe. I was made at GQ, Gamma Omega, Cheyney University, which obviously is the first HBCU in the nation. I was trained in the men of Baka for many years, too many to count, and the finished product is in the hands of Philly alumni. So Philly alumni, you deserve me too. I've been successful in planning the Seaport Museum event, the Sugar House Casino event, which is now Rivers Casino, and had Brother 48 set me up in style as the pandemic happened. Brother 48, Brother Harold. Then the pandemic happened and we couldn't have that event. I would have sent him out on style. I was given the chance by my line brother, Sands, former Polemarch, Philly alumni. I call him Iceman, AKA Darrell Stevens, Brother 47. Then I served under Brother 48, Brother Harold. And now I'm serving under Brother Jackson, Damian Jackson. I also served under Sam Patterson for the Finance and Development Committee for the Conclave here in Philadelphia. And yes, I'm going to say finally, and I mean finally, I'm serving as the chairman of the Centennial Gala. The Centennial Gala itself is all about creative energy under control. Accepting this award is humbling, and I challenge the next wannabe Shaka Zulu, aka Montague, the other one, to rise up and be the progressive change within. Being a disruptive innovator that challenges the status quo takes leadership beyond the norm. Thank you, and I humbly receive this award.
Brothers, it is indeed good to be here today. I was a member of the Burlington CAM alumni chapter for a number of years. As a matter of fact, I was keeper of records there. And then I moved to Wilmington, and I checked out Wilmington alumni chapter. It was a nice little chapter, but I made a decision to come to the Philadelphia alumni chapter just because this is the chapter in the city where I was initiated. So as soon as I decided to affiliate with the Philadelphia alumni chapter, I got a chance to see this brother in his role as the fundraising chair. And in that role, he also headed up the Christmas Cabaret Committee. He ran the popcorn sale as well as the candle sale. Basically, my point here is that his leadership was motivational. His leadership was, in fact, inspirational as well. We don't often say that we're proud of our contemporaries, particularly those contemporaries that might be a little younger than us. But I am proud of this brother, and I'm proud of his dedication to Kappa. In fact, my proudest moments in Kappa were 2008 when my son was initiated, 1986 when my younger brother was initiated, and then 1985 when this brother was initiated, and he was initiated into my chapter, the Delta Eta chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi. So it is with great esteem that I introduce my little brother and brother in Kappa, the 2022 Philadelphia Alumni Chapter Achievement Award winner, Brother Erick Pullian.
Greetings, brothers. My name is Erick Pullian, and I stand before you to say thank you for awarding me the Philadelphia Alumni Chapter Achievement Award for 2022. As a firm believer in effective leadership, I would like to take the opportunity to thank the Polemarchs that I've had the pleasure of working under during my time in Philadelphia Alumni. First, there was Brother Robert Hunter, Brothers Darrell Stephen, Brother Douglas Harrell, and finally, but certainly not least, Brother Damian Jackson. I would also like to thank Brother Devin Allen, who roughly around 5 years ago tricked me or coerced me into becoming the chairperson for the primary fundraising committees for Philadelphia Alumni. And certainly, but not least, I would like to thank my wife, Shelley Pullian, who despite being very active in her own organizations, always managed to find the time to step in the gap when I needed her the most and never complained about the unreimbursed expenses that are built around chairing events like this. So on behalf of Devin and my tri-chair, Shelley Pullian, I humbly accept this award from you today. As I was preparing for today, I did a little research on what's the best way to deliver a thank you speech like this. And after speaking with a few individuals and looking at a few sources, a couple of the themes were the same, thank established protocol, what have you. But the most important thing that they all mentioned was be very detailed in your explanation on why you received the award, and most importantly, take all the time you need and start from the very beginning. So I prepared a journal. It all started 75 years ago when I was a gleam in my father's eye. I'm just joking. There are two themes that I would like to speak to today. One would be achievement in every field of human endeavor, and the second one will be get in where you fit in. So let's talk about the first. I'm a firm believer that anything that your name or your reputation is attached to, greatness, perfection, growth should be your goal. And that's what we had in mind with every conference call, with every conversation, with every meeting. How can we make this event better than last year and set some sort of record in doing so? And I think we were successful because during my time in the past 5 years of being in a leadership role for fundraising, we've set records every single year. Despite some of those years being in a very challenging environment, we were able to do what we set out to do. So I want to say thank you to all those who took time out to take a phone call, to answer an email, to take 5 minutes to speak with me before and after meetings. I also want to take the time to thank Brother Joseph Nicholson, who carved out of his busy schedule an hour or two to come here at my request. And he may not know this, but he was my first introduction into Kappa Alpha Psi. It was him achieving and doing things back in the early 80s that I said, wow, this is something that I want to be a part of. And so what's interesting about this fraternal journey is that seeing him achieve in the 80s, right, we had different metrics and different goals. He hasn't stopped doing that in 2022. And so he's still one of the people that I look up to, that I strive to be like when I take on tasks. Lastly, I want to speak to the whole get in where you fit in. For those who are seeking a fraternal home or a chapter home, I would urge you to please consider Philadelphia Alumni and to please consider getting involved. Don't make the mistake that I did, stepping away from the fraternity for a decade and a half. It has so much more to offer. And when I was a young adult, what I got out of fraternity is very different than what I get out of it now as an adult. I would say that the bonds and the friendships that I've made over the past 5 to 6 years that I've been involved with Philadelphia Alumni are just as strong or as not stronger as the bonds I made back in 1985. So I would urge you to please reach out and to get involved and to re-engage. Everyone has a gift. Everyone has some sort of passion. There's enough that Philadelphia Alumni does in our community that you can find some place to give and get back. So again, I'd like to say thank you for this award, and thank you to Philadelphia Alumni for allowing me to live my passion.
Brothers, family, and friends, good afternoon. 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 10 reads, "Each of you should use whatever gift you have received to serve others, as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms." As such, first and foremost, I want to thank God, from whom all blessings flow. Without God, nothing is possible. With him, all things are possible. My name is Wendell Griffith, Keeper of Records for Philadelphia Alumni. I'm humbled and honored to receive the Dr. Alvin Vaughn Service Award. Thank you to the entire committee for recognizing me with this prestigious award. I truly appreciate you all. I want to thank my mother, Annette Griffith, for being an example of service within our immediate community at 16th and Clearfield in North Philadelphia. My mother was always willing to share food, her house, teach Sunday school, and to support our neighbors whenever needed. I want to thank my wife and son, Linnea and Everton Griffith, for their support and blessings to do all things Kappa. To my wife, I truly appreciate everything you do to make my life easier. To my son, Everton, I will continue to be the example of service and hope you will share your gifts with others in the same manner. I also want to thank my chapter advisor, Brother Charles Pops Ladder Sr., who was initiated at the Star of the East, the Lincoln University PA chapter, the Epsilon of Kappa Alpha Psi, in the spring of 1951. Pop served the Epsilon chapter for so long that I can't even count the years. Without Pop's, there's no Epsilon. Without Pop's approval, I don't get the opportunity to be initiated at the Epsilon of Kappa Alpha Psi in the spring of 1998. Thank you, Brother Ladder Sr., for all your years of service and the opportunity to join the Epsilon of Kappa Alpha Psi. You are recognized and you are truly appreciated. I've had the opportunity to serve under the leadership of several Philadelphia Alumni chapter Polemarchs, from past Polemarch Brother Brian Schaefer to our current Polemarch, Brother Damian S. Jackson. I thank you all for your support and for the opportunity to serve as chapter advisor on all assigned committees and currently as Keeper of Records. Last but certainly not least, I want to thank Brother Dr. Alvin Vaughn. It's surreal to be recognized in honor of our brother, Dr. Alvin Vaughn. Brother Vaughn was my high school vice principal at George Washington High School. What I remember most about Dr. Vaughn was that he was cool, he was quiet, always working, and always serving others. Brother Vaughn wrote me a recommendation so I could gain membership into our noble clan. He emphasized that joining Kappa Alpha Psi is a lifelong commitment. I remember writing Dr. Vaughn thanking him for his recommendation, only to receive a return thank you letter stressing the importance of being committed to Kappa Alpha Psi for life. I couldn't believe that Dr. Vaughn took the time to write me back. I remember thinking, yes, I made the right decision. I've joined the best fraternity. Brother Dr. Alvin Vaughn, I know you're watching from the Golden Shores. Thank you for all your years of service. I hope I'm making you proud. Brothers, I leave you with a few words that are very familiar to us all. Be strong. We are not here to play dream or drift. We have hard work to do and loads to lift. Shun not thy struggle, for it's God's gift. Be strong, be strong, be strong. And to that, I say, yo, thank you, brothers.
Greetings, brothers and guests. My name is Lonnie Harris Moore III, and it is my humble honor to stand before you today to accept the Joseph Moore Greer Spirit Award. I want to thank my Lord and Savior, from whom all blessings flow, for creating in me a spirit that has been a driving force in my life. After being advised I was selected for this award, a few days later, a scripture was shared with me by a friend who happens to be a pastor. He had no knowledge that I was the recipient of this award. The scripture was from Galatians 5, verse 23, which reads, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such there is no law." It made me reflect on my life. And although I have experienced both joy and long-suffering, as we all have, I'm reminded of the blessings of my life. I'm reminded of the blessing of being a husband, father, son, granddad, cousin, friend, mentor, and a Kappa man. I was raised in an environment of Kappa men. My father, Lonnie H. Moore Jr., who went on to Chapter Invisible in June of 2021, a 1957 initiate of the Gamma Omega chapter of then Cheney State Teachers College, and 25th Polemarch of our illustrious Philadelphia Alumni chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, had been instilling in me these values he was accustomed to. I was nurtured, groomed, and heckled by the best of these men growing up, the likes of Jimmy Smooth Gaskins or Al Harmon, Butel Canty, also known as Haji, Bisbee Canty and Harold Adams, Earl Ross, Dr. Melvin Jackson and Ron Stewbeef, and of course the notorious Ashley Cook Sr., just to name a handful. There was always a special bond, or spirit, if you will, that you could feel was apparent amongst them all. I wanted to be part of that fraternal brotherhood they shared one day. After graduating from Northeast High School, I matriculated at Morgan State University, where I graduated in 1989, same year as Brother Joseph Greer, although from Mansfield University, both of us with a Bachelor of Science degree. While attending Morgan State University, I sought out Kappa without even consideration of joining some other fraternal organization, in part because of the respect I had gained for Kappa men that I had grown up around all my life, and also because that would have been considered sacrilege to do otherwise. I remember attending my first smoker event, which is what they called it then, providing an opportunity for me to learn more about the Alpha Iota chapter of Kappa Alpha Psi, and they in turn to know more about me and why I aspired to be a Kappa. To me, it was a crystallization of a dream come true. To serve and uphold the values of fidelity and fraternity and the common bond of college-educated men who served the community and mentored young African-American males. It was then that I was initiated into this noble clan in the fall of 1985, along with my sons, the 11 Knights of Terror, who I remain close to this day. Shortly after my college days, I returned to the area, became married to my lovely wife, Shantae, and was soon a father of 3 beautiful children, Lonnie, Lane, and Flurgetti. Now living in South Jersey, I became involved in the community in my township and serving as a mentor, coach, and president for a youth football and cheerleading organization made up of 250 members, similar to Brother Greer, who also served as president, CEO for the Greater 69th Street Wildcats Athletic Association. I poured into these young boys and girls what was instilled in me at an early age. Both my late mother, Edith, who at one time served as president of the Philly Alumni Chapter Silhouettes and also as a member of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority, Omega Chapter, both she and my father showed me what it is to be of good character and to demonstrate a willingness to serve the community. After my mother passed in 2017, in 2018, I had the unfortunate experience of losing my twin daughter, Lane, to an automobile accident. She was only 20 years young and a second-year student at Delaware State University studying criminal justice at the time. Words cannot describe the pain, the void that was left in my heart. I felt my spirit was fading. But through prayer, supportive family and friends, and by the grace of God, it was restored. At that time, I rekindled a childhood friendship with our brother, Kevin Cook Sr. I told him I wanted to continue my outreach to serve the community and develop a stronger bond with brothers. What say you, I said. It was at that time I knew I wanted to be part of Philadelphia Alumni chapter, continuing the legacy of achievement in every field of human endeavor in the city from which I was raised. Shortly after becoming financial with the chapter, I sought out the Guide Right program in the Achievement Academy, whose mission is to counsel and train young Kappa African American males, Kappa League African American males, developing life skills and recognizing their educational accomplishments. I attended the bi-weekly sessions for several months before the pandemic hit. These good brothers of the Achievement Academy, not deterred, and in fact quickly implemented a virtual platform to continue our outreach, not leaving anyone behind. Today, I graciously serve as the president of the Achievement Academy. I can't say enough about the joy I have as a member of Philadelphia Alumni, serving side by side with you great brothers of this chapter to support all the various initiatives of our fraternity for the benefit of the community and to be able to share in a common fraternal bond. You exemplify true manliness and fidelity. I would like to thank our Polemarch, Damian S. Jackson, Esquire, the Achievement Awards Committee, and the distinguished Noops of Philadelphia Alumni for presenting me with this humbling award of spirit. I lift a cup of joy and health to every member here. As a wise brother once said, it is good to be a Kappa. And to that, I say, yo.